Hey everyone, my name is Britt Davies and I'm a certified yoga coach located here in Toronto. Today I'll be taking you through a variation of our level 1 program called Firestarter. Joga is a movement system that combines certain components of traditional yoga with the biomechanics of sport. So you'll find certain breathing relaxation techniques that we find in traditional yoga combined with postures that adhere to a tighter, more athletic body. Joga is composed of 3 pillars that we'll be going through today. The first one is breathing. So we start every practice with breathing, tapping into that belly and that chest breathing, which I'll cue you through. And then we head into some postures, building heat throughout the body, finding core stability, highlighting those imbalances in the body, and working on strengthening those. And then we come into the recovery relaxation portion at the end. So those 3 pillars are what we're going to tap into today. And I'm excited to have you here with me. So without further ado, let's get started. All you need is a mat. You don't need any equipment, any blocks. Have water nearby. I won't cue any water breaks today. However, if you do need that sip of water, feel free to do so. So we're going to start with that first component, the breathwork pillar. So you're going to start laying on your back. The knees are bent and the soles of the feet are planted onto the mat. You'll want to find your feet about hip distance apart. And then the upper body is completely relaxed onto the floor. This allows us to decompress that lower lumbar spine and really tap into the deep breathing that we're going to want to find right away. So before we get started, all I want you to do is find a couple natural breaths, really sinking into the floor and bringing your mind to a nice sense of calm. So you're going to find a nice deep inhale, breathing in through the nose. And on the exhale, I want you to release the breath out through the mouth, softening the jaw, making a nice loud ha sound. One more just like that. Deep inhale in through the nose. And on the exhale, release the jaw, finding that ha sound, releasing the tension. Now I want you to take your right hand and you're going to place it low onto your belly. So the thumb is going to come just below the belly button and that pinky finger is going to lay along the right hip crease. And you're going to take your left hand and you're going to place it high onto your chest. And then allow the elbows to relax into the floor, not holding any tension into the upper body. Your hands are being used as activation points here. So the first component of this breath work, we start with belly breathing and then chest breathing, and then we stack both in hopes to get full diaphragmatic breath. Also, by breathing into the lower belly, we trigger the parasympathetic nervous system, and by breathing into the chest, we trigger the sympathetic nervous system. So by tapping into both, we're bringing the brain to a balance and then bringing a nice state of calm to both the brain and the body before we get moving. So press into that right hand, use that as your activation point. We're going to find some nice slow inhales here, bringing the breath only into the belly so the chest stays empty. I want you to inhale in through the nose, breathe into the lower belly for 1. Fill the belly with air 2. Breathe into that right hand for 3. Pause, hold at the top. And then exhale, release the jaw, send the breath out through the mouth, and let the belly fall. Again, just like that, into that right hand, breathe in for 1. Full belly breath 2. 1 more inhale in through the nose, 3. Find a nice hold at the top. And then exhale, release the jaw out through the mouth, let the belly fall. Then you're gonna plug the navel in, squeeze all of that breath out, belly stays empty here. Now we're gonna breathe into the chest. So keeping that belly empty, I want you to press into the left hand, and we're going to send the breath into the upper body. So breathe in through the nose for 1. Feel the side ribs expand 2. Full lungs on 3. Pause, hold. And then exhale, release the jaw. Let the lungs deflate. Soften the ribs. Again, just like that, belly stays empty. We breathe into that left hand for 1. Feel the side ribs expand 2. Now breathe all the way into the back ribs for 3. Find a hold at the top. This is where we get that neurological response. And then exhale, release the jaw, send the breath out, allow the lungs to deflate. Great, take 1 recovery breath here. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, find that ha sound. Good, so now we've breathed into the lower belly and the chest separately. Now we're gonna stack the 2. So following my cues, we're going to start with that lower belly breathing again. So pressing into that right hand, find an inhale in through the nose for 1. Belly fills with air 2. Breathe all the way into that pinky finger for 3. Now pause, separate. Continue to inhale into the chest for 1. Breathe into the side ribs for 2. Now breathe into the front of the chest for 3. pause, hold, stay calm here, full breath. And then 5 count, exhale, let the belly fall. Send the breath out, ribs soften, jaw releases, and then you squeeze that breath out at the bottom, so plug that navel into the spine. Again, just like that, belly fills with air for 1. Breathe in 2. 1 more belly inhale, 3. Pause, separate into the chest, breathe into the back ribs for 1. Side ribs expand 2. Now all the way into the front of the clavicle for 3. Pause, hold at the top, staying calm. And then 5 count, exhale, release the jaw, send the breath out, lungs deflate, belly falls, and then you contract that breath out at the bottom. Stay empty, stay calm. Great, same thing, but we start with that chest breathing first. So inhale into that left hand for 1. Feel those side ribs expand 2. Now send the breath into the back ribs for 3. Pause, separate into the belly. Inhale for 1. Breathe into that right hand for 2. Full belly breath, 3. Pause, hold. And 5 count, exhale, release the jaw. Soften the ribs. Belly falls. Lungs deflate. Squeezing the breath out at the bottom. Last time here, start with that chest breath. Breathe into the back ribs for 1. Side ribs expand 2. Now breathe into the front of the throat for 3. Full lungs. Pause, separate. Inhale into the belly. Inhale for 1. Belly fills with air 2. Last inhale here, 3. Pause, hold. See if you can find an extra little hold. And then that 5 count, exhale, release the jaw. Soften the ribs. Soften the jaw. Belly falls. Squeeze the breath out at the bottom for 1. Stay empty, stay calm. And then full recovery breath. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, ha sound. 1 more just like that. Deep belly breath in through the nose. Loud exhale on that ha sound. Loud ha sound on that exhale. Great. Now plug that navel into the spine, so core activation before we find any movement. And then I want you to hug both knees in towards the chest. You're going to interlace the fingertips over top the shins, keeping both feet dorsiflexed. And then finding a nice little rock side to side here, giving the lower lumbar spine a nice little massage, getting a little bit of mobility. Keep breathing. And then slow the rock, come back to center. You're going to release the grip, soles of the feet come onto the floor, knees are still bent. You're going to take that right hand up overhead and roll onto the right side, coming into a fetal position here. And then finding a recovery breath. So 1 more deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, find that ha sound. Release the breath, release the tension. Nice. On your next breath, you're going to come up to a tabletop position. So coming onto your mat, we're going to start by warming up the spine, but we're going to match that breath to movement. So we're going to combine the two here, building a little bit of heat in the body. So first things first, let's set up nice and strong. I want you to take a look back and make sure the heels are in line with the sits bones. Next, your knees are going to come directly under the hips, and then wrists are right under the shoulders. So the crease of the wrists stacked directly under the shoulders, and then spreading those fingertips nice and wide into the floor. This is your stack. You're going to hear me say 3 important cues over and over again throughout the practice. These are our core cues, and they enable the bracing of the spine and allow us to move within our range of motion. So the first one is engaging the pelvic floor. So you're lifting that pelvic floor by drawing the belly button into the spine. Next, you're going to connect the front ribs to the back ribs, keeping a nice strong core, everything nice and active, nice and held in. And then next, you're going to lengthen the sternum forward. So the chest reaches forward, and this brings the head onto the cervical spine, creating a nice long back, not creating any tension on the spine here. So from here, on the inhale, I want you to dorsiflex both feet. You're going to tuck the toes under. You're going to lift the sits bones up. You're going to lengthen that sternum forward and press the fingertips nice and wide into the ground, allowing those shoulder blades to retract along the spine. This is position 1. Position 2, you're going to untuck the toes. So bring the tops of the feet onto the mat. Draw your belly button in. Front ribs contract in towards your back ribs, and then you're going to round the spine, allowing the crown of the head to reach towards the floor. Position 2. Position 1, inhale, tuck the toes, lift the sits bones up, draw the chest forward, press the hands nice and firmly into the ground. Exhale, release the tops of the feet, draw the belly button in, round the spine, allow the crown of the head to release. Again, just like that, inhale, tuck the toes, lift the sits bones up, draw the chest forward, fingertips spread wide. Exhale, release the tops of the feet, draw the belly button in, round the spine. We're going to hold here. So continue to find that same breath mechanic, the inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And we're just gonna find a little bit of heat building into the shoulders and also really connect to this position. So I want you to find your toenails where they connect to the ground, and you're gonna simply drag them forward, taking that pressure off of the ankle joints. Next, you're gonna draw that belly button in nice and close to the spine as you find a nice dome shape with the back, spreading the shoulder blades apart, finding space into that posterior chain. Keep breathing, spread those fingertips wide, use that kinetic energy to build heat and feel really stable in this position. Crown of the head releases down, getting a nice stretch into the back of the neck. One more breath here, deep inhale. And then on your exhale, come back to a neutral spine, so back to that tabletop, that position that we started in. Awesome, so rebrace the spine, draw that belly button in, front to backwards, connect, sternum lengthens forward. From here, starting to build a little bit of heat in the quads. On the inhale, you're gonna tuck the toes under once again, so balls of the feet connect to the mat, and then you're gonna press into the balls of the feet, into the hands, knees lift up off the ground, 1 to 2 inches, hold here. Position 1, hovering tabletop. Position 2, you're gonna press into the pads of the feet, lift the hips up and back, keeping that bend into the knees, connecting the ribs to the quads, and then tracking the mat forward with the hands, coming into a crouching downward dog, position 2. Inhale, press into the tops of the feet, bring the shoulders over top the wrists, knees come parallel, or shins come parallel to the floor, knees are hovering, and then exhale, press into the balls of the feet, hips lift up and back, ribs draw in towards the quads, keep that activation in the lower body, keep those hips lifted. One more time, just like that. Inhale, coming into that hovering tabletop, shoulders over the wrists, fingertips spread wide, sternum lengthen forward. Exhale, press into the balls of the feet, hips lift up and back, keeping that core nice and strong, so keeping that belly button in, shoulder blades down along the spine, fingertips spread wide, gazes forward. Holding here for 1 breath, inhale. Exhale, press into the balls of the feet, feel that activation in the lower body, feel nice and stable here. And then inhale, come back to your hovering tabletop. Exhale, knees come to the floor, toes come to touch, the knees spread wide. You're gonna stack those fists and then allow your head to rest on those 2 stacked fists. Deep recovery breath here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, find that ha sound. Slow that heart rate down. 1 more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, ha sound. Here, I just want you to find a slight rock of the forehead side to side, massaging the top of the forehead on that top fist. We have a pressure point here in the front of the forehead to activate that parasympathetic nervous system, so coming into that relaxation recovery mode, and then still connecting to that breath. From here, come back to center. You're gonna look forward, reach the hands forward, and then I want you to step back into a high plank position. So once again, same cues apply. Feet are pressing into the floor, belly button drawn in, front to back ribs connected, sternum lengthens forward, and then pressing the hands nice and wide, making sure those shoulders are stacked right over the wrists. Let's take the pressure off the lower back. So take a bend into both knees, then you're gonna lift those hips up and back, coming into an upside down V, or a downward dog as we'd like to call it, but keeping the knees bent here. So balls of the feet are pressing into the ground, heels are lifted, knees are bent so you can really lengthen through that lumbar, and then shoulder blades retract down along the spine. Once again, gazes forward, fingertips spread wide. From here, you're gonna take a deeper bend into the knees, look forward, and you're gonna step or walk to the top of your mat. Nice. Feet come to touch at the top. So inner thighs are engaged, everything is nice and tight, nice and engaged. And then we're gonna bring the heels of the hands to the quads here. So feel that activation, feel that connection throughout the full body. On the inhale, you're gonna lengthen the chest forward, weight comes into the balls of the feet, almost as though you're gonna tip forward. You won't, but the heels will come out slightly, and we're getting a nice activation, nice stretch into the back of the hamstrings. Head is in line with the spine, don't let it fall off. On the exhale, you're gonna transfer the weight into the heels, sit nice and low into the ankles, knees, hips, driving the knees over top the toes, chest comes proud, keep those hands connected to the thighs, getting a nice stretch into the calves, into the Achilles. Again, like that, inhale, transfer the weight into the balls of the feet, getting into those hamstrings, nice long back, keep that belly button drawn in. Exhale, transfer the weight into the heels, sit low, find that stretch into the back of the calves, back of the Achilles. 1 more, inhale, transfer the weight forward, all the way into the balls of the feet, getting into those hamstrings, holding here. And then exhale, release it, forward fold, Crown of the head comes to the floor, keeping that slight bend into the knees, and then full recovery breath here. Deep inhale, and exhale, let it out. Leading with the chest, you're gonna circle those hands up overhead. So inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, rotate from the shoulder joints, palms face away from the body, diving forward, coming back into that forward fold. Inhale, transfer the weight into the balls of the feet, come back to your half back position. And then exhale, shift the weight into the heels, sit nice and low. I want you to reach those hands down by your side, hands connect to the floor, and then you step back to that high plank position. Right away, bend the knees, hips up, downward dog. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, find that ha sound, re-brace the spine, pelvic floor lifts, front to back ribs connect, sternum lengthens forward. We're just gonna get a little bit of mobility into the ankles here, and then getting a stretch into that posterior chain. So heels are lifted, balls of the feet press into the floor on the inhale. And on the exhale, I want you to release that right heel down towards the ground, but keep that right hip lifted up towards the ceiling. So pelvis stays nice and stable, and we get a nice stretch into the back of that right leg. Inhale, both knees bend, heels lift up, balls of the feet press into the floor. And then exhale, release the left heel down. Keep the pelvis stable as you draw that left hip up towards the ceiling. Core is strong, fingertips spread wide. Inhale, heels lift up. Exhale, right heel releases, getting into the back of that right leg. One more on the left. Inhale, both heels lift up. Keep those fingertips nice and active into the floor. Exhale, left heel lengthens, getting that nice posterior stretch. Inhale, both heels lift up. Take a deeper bend into the knees, look forward, and then step or walk to the top of your mat. On the inhale, come back into that half back position. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lead with the chest, hands come up overhead. And then from here, exhale, I want you to sit a little bit deeper. So weight is predominantly in the heels. Adductors are engaged, the feet are together, and then you're gonna simply bring the thumbs into the shoulders, like so. And then spread the fingertips wide out to the side. You wanna make sure that you feel and see your hands in your periphery. So from here, everything nice and strong. Pelvic floor is lifted, front to back ribs connected, and then shoulder blades are drawing down along the spine, not hiked up into the ears here. Finding a little bit of stability on the right side to begin. You're gonna press into the ball of the left foot, left heel comes up. There we go. And then you're gonna flip those left toes up, dorsal flexing that left foot, loading that right side, sitting nice and low, chest is proud. This is position one. As you inhale, you're gonna transfer the weight into the ball of the right foot. That left heel shoots back, left hip stays drawing down. We're finding a nice airplane position. This is position two. Exhale, you're gonna tap the knees together, sit nice and long to that right leg, keep those hands spread wide, fingertips, energy all the way to the fingertips, engaging those adductors, really feeling that right side warm up. Inhale, extend that left heel back, chest comes forward, pelvis is stable, core is on. And then exhale, you're gonna tap the knees, sit nice and low. See if you can get that depth on the right side. Last one, we hold at the top. Inhale, extend that left heel back, make sure the left heel stays, or left foot stays flexed. And then find a hold here, re-stabilize, draw that belly button in, front to back ribs connected. On the exhale, we're gonna load into that right side. So you're gonna bend that right knee for 3, lower 2, 1. On the inhale, straighten that right leg, spring up, keep the left foot flexed. One more just like that, lower 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Fighting for that stability on the right leg. We're gonna hold at the bottom here. Exhale, lower 3, 2, 1. Re-stabilize, draw that belly button in. Pelvis is stable, hands spread wide. You're gonna hamstring curl that left leg. So bring the left heel into the left glute, finding a little bit of activation into that hamstring. Now, squeeze the left glute. That's gonna lift the heel towards the ceiling, getting an opening into the front of the left quad. Now step the feet together, circle the hands up overhead. Deep inhale here, and exhale, ha sound. Nice, one more deep inhale, and exhale. Hands stay up overhead. I'll turn to face you. Feet are still touching, inner thighs are engaged, fingertips still spread wide. So keeping that kinetic energy going, keeping everything nice and active. From here, you're gonna take that right arm and you're gonna internally rotate the shoulder so the right palm faces away from the body. You're gonna clasp that left wrist, and while keeping that lower body nice and engaged, nice and stable, you're gonna inhale, find tension on the left side. So bring that left shoulder into the left ear, and then as you exhale, You're gonna find a little bit of lateral flexion over to the right. Deep inhale, breathe into the side ribs here on the left. And then exhale, draw that belly button in. See if you can find a little bit more flexion over to the right side. One more deep inhale. Use that breath to move you. Exhale, squeeze the adductors over to the right. Nice, press through both feet. Come back up to center, release the grip. Shrug the shoulders, deep breath into the nose. Exhale, release. Awesome, same thing on the other side. So circle those hands up overhead, inhale. And then exhale, now we rotate the left palm face away from the body, clasping that right wrist with the thumb and index finger. Find tension on the right side as you inhale. And then exhale, draw that belly button in, over to the left, finding that flexion, finding that range of motion. Deep inhale, into the upper body, into those side ribs. And then exhale, see if you can get a little bit further over to the left. Keep that right shoulder out away from the ear, so don't let it hike up here. Everything is nice and strong, nice and retracted. One more deep inhale. Exhale over to the left. Awesome. Press through both feet. Come back up to center. Release the grip. Shrug the shoulders. Deep inhale. And exhale, awesome. Staying in this position with the lower body, we're coming into our chair position. So once again, I'll show you the hand mechanic facing you, and then you can match me. So pressing into the finger pads, thumbs pressing into one another. So we're not releasing into the palms of the hands, but rather building tension, building strength by creating tension in the finger and wrist joints. So pressing the finger pads into one another, this allows us to retract the scapula and then find a little bit of activation in the upper body as we also work mobility over to the right. So find your chair position. You're going to squeeze the inner thighs together, belly button drawn in, those finger pads pressing into one another, and then you're going to connect the thumbs into what the chest. So what we call the xiphoid is where the abdominal wall and the chest plate meet. There's a pressure point there to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. We're going to find that, and that's where we connect our thumbs. So sitting nice and low on the inhale, shift that weight into the heels, finger pads press into one another. Exhale, you're going to rotate the upper body over to the right side. Again, sit low on the inhale, knees are in line, tracking over the toes. Exhale, allow the breath to give you a little bit more rotation over to the right. One more deep inhale, press into the finger pads. Exhale, send the breath out, draw that belly button in. Inhale, look forward, chest comes forward, hands reach up overhead, sit as low as you can, and then exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, come back into your half back position. Exhale, transfer the weight into the heels, sit low, those hands reach down by your side, and we're gonna go into a lunge series on the right side. So once again, pressing into the ball of the left foot, left heel comes up, keep those shoulder blades nice and retracted, and then flex that left foot, so dorsal flexion as we load the right side, and then you're gonna step directly behind you, coming into a nice long lunge. So check behind, make sure that left heel is behind your left glute, and then bend that back leg to take the pressure off the lower back. Nice. So we're tracking the knees over the toes. On the inhale, you're gonna press into the ball of the right foot, the right heel comes up, and then you're gonna lift those hands up overhead, nice and strong. Awesome. On the exhale, you're gonna lower into that lunge. So 90-90 with both knees, belly button drawn in, nice and strong. Inhale, straighten both legs. Keep those hands nice and active. Hands reach all the way to the sky. And then exhale, lower into that lunge. Belly button draws in. Knees track over the toes. One more just like that. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, lowering. Holding that nice low lunge position. Allow the right heel to come back onto the floor. This is position one. Position two, you're going to straighten that back leg, keep the front leg where it is, hinging at the hips, chest comes forward, and then the hands reach down and back. Palms face towards the ground, as though someone's pulling your hands behind you and punching you in the stomach. So nice strong core, head is in line with the spine, full stride here. And then you're going to bend the back knee, press into the front heel, come into that lunge, hands circle up overhead. Inhale, exhale, straighten the back leg, hinge at the hips, chest comes forward, hands come down and back, active fingertips, and then exhale, bend the back knee, transfer the weight into the front heel, hands circle up overhead. Really nice. Keep that belly button drawn in. Bring those thumbs back to the shoulders, and then hands come back out to that T position. So once again, seeing those hands in your peripherals, deep inhale, and then exhale, you're gonna rotate the upper body over to the right. So upper body finds mobility, lower body stays nice and stable. From here, keeping those hands in your peripherals, you're gonna straighten the back leg, hinge at the hips, reach the left hand forward, right hand back. Deep inhale. And then exhale, bring those hands back to that center of the chest. So pressing into the finger pads. Big inhale here. Exhale, press into the front foot. See if you can generate a little bit more rotation over to the right. Nice. Inhale, look forward. Chest comes forward. Reach those hands up overhead. Full stride here. And then exhale, plant the hands down to the floor. Step that right foot back to high plank. And then right away, bend the knees, hips up, downward dog. Big recovery breath here. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, hot sound. One more, just like that. Deep inhale. Even louder hot sound on that exhale. Awesome. Restabilizing in this downward dog. You're going to take a deeper bend into the knees, look forward, and then step or walk to the top of your mat. So we can do it all over on the left. Awesome. So now you know the sequence, you know the positioning, so we'll move a little bit quicker here, but working the left side just as we did the right. So inhale, you're going to find that half back position. Heels of the hands connect to the quads, and then exhale, come out of it, forward fold. Awesome. Lead with the chest, circle the hands up overhead, inhale. And then exhale, take a bend in the knees. Keep that core engaged. Hands come to the shoulders, so fingertips spread wide. And then exhale, hands come out to the side, making sure you can see those fingertips in your peripherals, allowing the shoulder blades to retract down along the spine. If you're finding tension in the upper body, just bring those thumbs a little bit lower. Now from here, you can press into the ball of the right foot. So right heel lifts up, and then dorsal flex that right foot, loading into that left side, sitting nice and low, position one. Inhale, you're gonna extend that right heel back, hinging at the hips, chest comes forward, transfer the weight into the left ball of the foot, right hip draws down, position two. Exhale, you're gonna tap the knees, chest comes proud, sit nice and low, loading that left side. Inhale, extend the right heel back, as though you're kicking that wall behind you, keeping that right hip drawn down, belly button drawn into the spine, and then exhale, tap the knees together, sit nice and low, fighting for that stability on the left side. One more, just like that, we hold at the top. Inhale, right heel lengthens back, chest is forward, keep those fingertips nice and spread wide. Now we lower on that left side as we exhale for 3, lower 2, 1, inhale, straighten. Again, just like that, lowering 3, knee tracks over the toe, 2, keep that right foot flexed, 1, hold, inhale, come up. Last one, we hold at the bottom, exhale, lower 3, 2, 1, restabilize, draw that belly button in, lengthen the chest forward, you're gonna hamstring curl that right leg, so bring the right heel into the glute, right foot is still flexed. Now engage that right glute, lifting that right heel towards the ceiling, getting that opening in the front of the right hip. Now step the feet together, circle the arms up overhead, deep inhale, and exhale. One more deep inhale, exhale, hot sound. Awesome. From here, we're gonna find a little bit of opening into the upper body, a little bit of extra breath into the chest. So I want you to rotate the palms face away from the body, and then you're gonna interlace the fingertips behind you, keeping a slight bend into the elbows so we don't create too much tension on the shoulder joints. Interlacing those fingertips behind you, coming nice and high onto the webbing of the fingers, and then pressing the heels of the hands together. So creating a lot of tension into the hands, and then keeping those inner thighs engaged, slight bend into the knees, proud chest here. As you inhale, what I want you to do, press into the hands, send the breath into the front of the chest, into that clavicle, and then exhale, draw the belly button in, squeeze the hands together, allowing the breath to release. Now let's add some eye movement here, so we're working on that hand-eye coordination. Deep inhale, you're gonna breathe into the chest, but you're gonna lift the eyes up and back so the head stays still, and all that's moving are the eyes. So trying to look behind you, keeping that tension on the hands, and then exhale, release the breath as you look all the way down, head stays still. We're just working the dura into those eye sockets. Inhale, big look up, breathing into the chest, and then exhale, looking down with the eyes, sending the breath out, squeezing those hands together, pressing into the heels of the hands. And then slowly blink your way back to center, release the grip slowly, give the shoulders a little shrug, deep inhale through the nose, exhale, release it. Nice job, we're going into that chair position on the left side. So once again, toes come to touch, adductors are engaged, We're taking that bend into the knees, but core is nice and strong. Belly button in, front to back ribs, shoulder blades retracted. You're pressing into those finger pads once again, creating that tension, creating that traction into the upper body. And then connect those thumbs to the chest. Sit nice and low on the inhale. And then exhale, upper body rotates over to the left, sending the breath out. Sit a little bit lower, make sure those knees are in line, they're not splaying out in front of one another. Deep inhale. Exhale, draw the belly button in. See if that breath can generate a little bit more mobility over to the left. Awesome. Look forward. Chest comes forward. Reach those hands up overhead. Find your deep squat. Sit as low as you can. Inhale. And exhale, come out of it, forward fold. Big release here. Inhale, back into that half back position. Weight is in the balls of the feet. And then exhale, transfer the weight to the heels. Sit nice and low. Chest comes proud as you reach those hands down by your side. Once again, active fingertips here. Now press into the ball of the right foot on this side. And then dorsiflex that right foot, loading that left side to come into our lunge on the left. Stepping directly behind you. Take a look back. Make sure that right heel is behind the right sits bone. And then bend the back knee, take that pressure off the lower lumbar, allowing us to engage that core. Inhale, you're gonna press into the ball of the left foot. So left heel comes up, and then hands drive up overhead, fingertips spread wide, shoulders down along the spine. Exhale, bend into both knees, keep those heels lifted, core is nice and engaged, pelvic floor lifted. Inhale, press into both feet, legs come straight, hands reach up. And then exhale, lower, keeping those knees tracking over the toes. One more, just like that. Inhale, come up, full range, fight for that stability. And then exhale, lower into that lunge, squeezing that right glute, getting that activation in the front of the left quad, or right quad, sorry. Now release the left heel back onto the floor. From here, you're straightening the back knee, hinging at the hips for reaching the chest forward, then hands come down and back. That same pulling feeling of the arms, punching of the stomach, so that we engage that core, nice and strong, full stride. Bend the back knee, press into the left heel, circle the hands up overhead, inhale. And then exhale, transfer the weight, hinge at the hips, chest comes forward, hands come down and back, pressing into that right toe mound, full stride, draw that left hip back, nice proud chest. Awesome, bend the back knee, circle the hands up overhead, coming back into your lunge, deep inhale. And then exhale, thumbs come to shoulders, hands come up to the side. Once again, nice strong positioning of the upper body, inhale. And then exhale, rotate that upper body over to the left. Awesome. Now from here, keeping those hands in your peripherals, you're gonna straighten that right knee. So back leg is straight, front leg is bent. Deep inhale here. And then exhale, bring those hands back to center, pressing those thumbs in towards the chest, fingertips pressing into one another. Deep inhale, find that tension into the hands. And then exhale, press into that left foot, generate a little bit more rotation over to the left, breathing out. Inhale, look forward, chest comes forward, those hands reach up overhead, inhale, and then exhale, hands to the floor, step back to high plank, and then right away, bend the knees, hips up, downward dog, deep recovery breath here. Inhale through the nose, and exhale, ha sound. One more deep inhale, and exhale, ha sound. Awesome. From here, knees spread wide, they come to the floor, toes come to touch, your head comes to two stacked fists, and then coming back to that recovery breath, deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale, ha sound. Rocking that forehead side to side, finding that pressure point coming into that parasympathetic nervous system, cueing that recovery, cueing that relaxation. Awesome. So we built the heat, and now we're going into that recovery pillar. Awesome. Coming onto the back, so same position we started in. Soles of the feet are planted, they're hip distance apart, knees are bent, and then allowing that back body to relax into the floor. So from here, make sure that we're nice and neutral with the pelvis, so readjust the hips if need be. We're just gonna work into a little bit of lower body stretch, but also working into that digestive tract here before we come into final relaxation. So inhale, you're gonna draw the belly button in towards the spine, connect the core, and then as you exhale, you're gonna hug that right knee in towards the chest, left knee stays pointing up towards the ceiling, and then you're gonna interlace the fingertips over top the right shin, giving it a nice little squeeze here. So you're gonna find tension between the hands and the shin, shin and the hands, keeping it nice and active. Right foot is dorsiflexed. On the inhale, you're gonna breathe into that lower belly. So fill the belly with air. See if it can connect to the right thigh. And then on the exhale, you're gonna hug that right knee nice and close into the body. Feel the shoulder blades connect to the ground, keeping that right foot flexed, compressing into that right hip flexor. Deep belly breath on the inhale. Exhale, find that resistance, that compression on the right side, sending the breath out, working into the ascending colon on this side. So finding compression here. One more deep belly breath, inhale. Exhale, release the breath. Keep the knee where it is. You're gonna switch the grip. So the hands are gonna come behind the right hamstring, same interlacing of the fingers, and then you're gonna slowly extend that right heel up towards the ceiling, keeping a micro bend into the right leg. So we only get about a 6 or 7 out of 10 stretch here. Working through the mechanics of the foot, keep that pressure in the hands onto the hamstring. Inhale, you're gonna plantar flex, so point the toes up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're gonna really articulate through that right foot, dorsiflexing that right foot, sending the energy through the heel up towards the ceiling, getting a stretch into the right calf. Inhale, point the toes up, maybe getting a stretch into the right front of the right shin. And then exhale, draw the toes down, keep that flexion in the right foot. One more breath here, deep inhale. And exhale. Awesome. From here, I want you to connect the right ankle to the left knee. So finding 90 degrees with that right knee. If you already feel a stretch and opening into the hip here, option to stay here. If you'd like to progress the stretch, what I want you to do is I want you to slowly reach behind the left hamstring, lifting that left foot up off the floor, interlacing those fingers behind the left leg. Both feet are flexed so we can protect the knee joints and stay nice and active into this stretch. Inhale, you're gonna breathe into that lower belly. And then as you exhale, you're gonna slowly bring that left knee in towards the chest, pressing that right ankle into the left knee and pressing the right knee out and away from the chest. Yeah, so really getting into that right glute. Should feel really good. Once again, only a 6 or 7 out of 10 stretch here. One more deep belly breath, inhale. Keep everything nice and active, legs are at 90 degrees. And then exhale, pressing that right knee out towards the glute, getting into that right hip, right glute. Awesome. Slowly release the grip. Both soles of the feet come back onto the floor, readjust the hips, and find a nice deep recovery breath here. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it out. Awesome. Same thing on the left. So hug that left knee in towards the chest this time. Interlace those fingers over top the left shin, making sure the left foot is dorsiflexed, so keeping the activation. Right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. On the inhale, find that tension between the shin and the hands. Deep belly breath. And then exhale, slowly guide that left knee in towards the body, connecting those shoulder blades to the ground. Left foot stays flexed. Deep belly breath on the inhale. Exhale, left knee drives in, compressing into that left hip flexor and working through the descending colon on this side. So working through that digestive tract, pulling that blood into the abdomen, getting a nice stretch, nice compression into that hip flexor. One more deep belly breath, inhale. And exhale, let it out. Slowly switch the grip, keeping the left knee where it is, coming behind the left hamstring, and then extending that left heel up towards the ceiling. Once again, keeping that soft bend into the knee and nice active grip on the left hamstring. Inhale, you're gonna point those toes up towards the ceiling, getting a stretch into the front of the left leg. And then exhale, draw the toes down, articulate through that left foot, send the energy through the left heel, getting a stretch into the back of the calf, maybe into the Achilles. One more. Inhale, point the toes up. Awesome. And then exhale, draw the toes down. Dorsiflexion of the left foot. Deep inhale. And exhale. From here, you're going to bend that left knee. You're going to connect the left ankle to the right knee, finding that 90 degrees with the left leg. Option to stay here if this is a good enough stretch for you. If you'd like to progress, get a little bit deeper. You're going to slowly reach behind that right hamstring, lifting the right foot up off the floor, keeping that dorsiflexion of both feet. Deep belly breath on the inhale. And then on the exhale, you're going to slowly guide that right knee in towards the body, pressing that left knee out and away from the chest, getting into that left glute on this side. But once again, keeping that dorsiflexion, keeping everything nice and active so that we can work within our range. Deep inhale. And exhale. Connect those shoulder blades to the ground, pressing that left knee out and away from the body, getting into that left glute. 6 or 7 out of 10 stretch here. Slowly release the grip. Both soles of the feet come back onto the floor. Readjust the hips as you find a nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, ha sound. Awesome. From here, let's just finish off that digestive tract. So you're going to hug both knees in towards the chest, but engage the core first before we move anywhere. So navel plugs into the spine, nice neutral pelvis, and then you're going to hug both knees in towards the body, interlacing the fingers of the forearms over top the shins, keeping the knees and feet separate, and finding that dorsiflexion with both feet. Same breath mechanic here. On the inhale, you're going to breathe into that lower belly. And then on the exhale, you're going to hug both knees in towards the chest, or maybe in towards the armpits if that's a little bit more comfortable for you. Getting into the right and left hip flexors simultaneously, and then working into that transverse colon. Nice. Deep belly breath, inhale. Exhale, find that squeeze, hug those knees in. We're pooling the blood into the abdomen here so that when we release this position, the blood flow goes all the way through to the extremities, all the way through to the fingers, the toes. One more deep belly breath, inhale. Feel the belly connect to the thighs. And then exhale, find that compression. Keep that resistance between the shin and the forearms. And then slowly release the grip. Soles of the feet come to the floor, hands come down by your side, palms face up. And then release the heels all the way down to the ground. Coming into full relaxation here. So deep belly breath, inhale. And then as you exhale, send the breath out through the mouth. Feel that blood flow all the way to the fingers, all the way to the toes, allowing the body to decompress and allowing the body or the breath to bring us to full recovery. One more deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, ha sound. Allow the body to melt into the floor. Really nice. I want you to close the eyes here. We're just going to take a couple moments to seal off the practice, coming back to our breath and allowing us to get into that full decompression, full relaxation. So eyes are closed. No tension is being felt in the body here. So allow the feet to splay open, palms down by your side, and then continuing with that natural breath. So deep inhales in, and then exhale, I want you to send that breath out through the mouth. Send the breath into those areas of tension that we found, allowing the whole back body to connect to the floor. Now I want us to bring a little bit of awareness to our breath. So continuing with that same pace, I want you to pay attention to the physicality of your breath. So as you inhale, which parts of your body are moving? And as you exhale, which parts of your body are moving? Is your belly rising? Is it falling? Are you breathing into the chest? Is everything else nice and still? Pay attention to these components. Don't manipulate them, just bring awareness and continue to breathe. Next, I want you to bring awareness to the sound of your breath. Are you breathing heavily? Is it nice and loud as you inhale? Are you finding that audible exhale, that ha sound, that decompression? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And now the last component is the cadence of your breath. So how much time are you spending on the inhale? And how deep are your exhales? Is one longer than another? Can you match them? Paying attention to where we breathe naturally and just allowing the body to do it without any manipulation, only awareness. A couple more breaths on your own time. Really deepening into that relaxation, into that recovery. I want you to slowly bring awareness back to the extremities, keeping the eyes closed, just wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, and then welcoming movement back into the joints. So rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles, reawakening the body. And on your next inhale, you're gonna find a full body stretch. So reach those hands up overhead, stretching all the way from the fingers, all the way down to the toes. Deep inhale. And exhale, release the tension. Send the breath out. Soles of the feet come back onto the floor. Knees are bent. You're gonna keep that right hand up overhead and you're gonna roll back onto the right side, coming into that fetal position. The right hand being used as a pillow. And then finding one more recovery breath here on your right side. So deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it out. Soften the jaw, soften the ribs. And then slowly making your way up to a seated position, or however is comfortable for you. So you can come cross-legged on the shins, wherever is comfortable. And we're just gonna do one last exercise. So I want you to take the palms of the hands and you're gonna rub them together, creating friction, creating heat. The palms of the hands are gonna feel nice and warm. Once you feel that heat and you've created it, stay with it and then take a deep inhale through the nose. And on the exhale, you're gonna press the heels of the hands into the eyes, covering the eyes with the hands and pulling that heat into the front of the face. Deep inhale through the nose, keep that pressure from the hands into the face. And then exhale, send the breath out, releasing the jaw. Again, just like that, keeping that pressure of the hands, inhale. We're taking the focus into the front of the brain here as we hold a lot of tension into the back of the brain. So really using that pressure, that heat, that sense of calm to bring awareness and take the focus off of where we hold that stress, hold that tension. One more deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, slowly release the hands from the face. Slowly blinking your way back into the room, shrugging the shoulders, and we're gonna take one collective breath together. So bringing those hands in towards that xiphoid, in towards the chest. Deep inhale through the nose. Fill the belly, fill the chest. And then loud exhale, soften the ribs, soften the jaw, release the tension. Awesome job. I hope you enjoyed today's variation of fire starter. I'm so grateful to have had you join me, and as we like to say, namaste and thank you. Hope to see you sooner than later, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this event. Cheers.